like you don't have to get up is great.
Yeah.
Sucks you don't have a camera for all the others.
Oh, no. Guess what doesn't suck? Whoa!
What? What doesn't suck?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broken vacuum cleaners.
Broken bags of wieners?
Broken bags of wieners.
What? Wildly Uninteresting Podcast. Episode 129 with Adam, Ian,
I'm Ian.
and Sarah.
Hello.
The beautiful people of this podcast that make this podcast happen every week. We are a weekly podcast, if you want to know. Sometimes we skip a few here and there, just take a vacation. But look, we are a weekly podcast. We get together, we chill, we hang out. And for our guests, we like them to come and chill and hang out too. And I mean, whoever views us
Talk about
on
their
YouTube
dicks.
Stuff. Yeah. Whatever you want to talk about.
Or buttholes.
You can
Yes.
you can throw that stuff in the comments. We read our comments and we take it into account, and we're gonna talk about what you do.
Usually
just
takes me a
berate
while
'em.
to get to them,
Yeah.
but I do eventually show up.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much. I feel like everybody that I ask or reach out to that wants to do a podcast, it's hard to explain pretty much what we are, but it comes from a place of. We were talking about this about the Bodega French Fries YouTube channel that we want to be
awesome.
something that everybody can get something from. Everybody can get a message from or something like
I
that.
feel the best way to save explanation is just, if you have questions about what the show is, just fucking listen to it, retards.
Ooh, yeah, you could listen to it.
Oh, describe the movie. Why don't you go see the movie?
No, they want to do that. A
Could
lot of
be in a
people.
schmuck.
I have an issue with that too. If a video is longer than we talked about, like 5 minutes, I had a guy that I really like to watch, but you could tell he didn't plan stuff out. He would just speak, and the video would end up being like 2 to 3 hours. Every single one of them. Man. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. So you're gonna have to So I stopped watching him, even though I loved his content. I had to stop watching him for that fact.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing you have to really just be committed to spending your life with that person.
Yes, seriously. It's like you're getting married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't mind. Like, with Joe Rogan, I'll listen to him for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
No big deal. But
Yeah.
he has somebody on, and they're generally having focused conversations.
For sure.
Not like, oh, I'm going to talk about this. Oh, look at rocks.
Yeah, I'm gonna ramble for 3 fucking hours.
Yeah.
But and that's
Who can talk for that long?
with
I could.
Oh my god, I couldn't.
With Joe Rogan, though, when it comes down to it, he's a very, very, very good guest. He has it down pat to where he asks the right questions. He's just interested enough in the guest. He compliments them. He brings the words out of the guest.
Yeah.
Or out of the guest.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Plus, he smokes weed and drinks.
right,
so
it makes it a lot
it makes
easier.
it easy.
And I'm sure the people that drink and stuff while they watch his show, you know what I mean? I don't know when it comes out specifically. Probably like a Friday or Saturday.
Every day,
Every day? Get out of here.
essentially.
That's crazy.
He
feel like he
really
does,
does
like-
them daily. That's
Like
crazy.
4 or 5 a week, I think. Yeah.
You know what would be beneficial for us? Let me go back to this real quick. I'll finish the
Yeah,
thing.
what's your fucking point?
One person sitting in front of a camera, a lot of his stuff can be condensed down to maybe an hour. Even if it
Yeah.
was an hour, it'd be different.
Learn to edit, bitch.
Edit.
Yeah.
Edit and then write your dialogue down. He's too much of he's thinking, his pauses are in there, all that. It just far too long.
Get that shit out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said. Like, we appreciate that you're thoughtful and you're putting forth the effort to provide this video, but
Yeah.
you gotta condense. We don't need to see you thinking. I don't
Yeah.
need to know that you couldn't think of a word for 30 seconds.
It's even with like the drinky show. Like,
Yeah.
I'll cut like 7 seconds here, 10 seconds there,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, I had a 6:50 video. Now it's at 5:43.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
And I
makes
cut out of the
it makes a hell of a difference for sure. But yeah, that I just in general I like good channels like that, and I think that keeping our videos down to like 5 minutes on that Bodega French Fries YouTube channel would be dope.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
it's
not us.
All right,
It's the
I was
point of,
that's
like-
not gonna work for me.
it's the point of like mixing in having separate playlists for separate items that you want to talk about or things that you want to messages you want to get across. But that's what I told her. It's easy for somebody who's already established to do that, But for somebody who is like trying to build a channel, it's a little bit harder. But yeah, man, because there's just so much we're interested in. I think there's so much we all do that it's like, what do you pick? Everybody's like, oh, one thing. That's just like in your career or life. People are like, one thing, go to college. One thing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Who thinks that way? Like, I know that some people.
Robots.
Well, yeah, I guess the majority
Bobots.
of people, like, they just follow along in that system.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand how somebody, with a brain like ours, or like a brain like a human, could
Our collective brain.
all brains, that they could just settle for like one specific thing. And I know that the capacity in some people's intellect is just one thing, and that's fine. But if I had to do one thing the rest of my life, I'd probably kill myself. So
I think that would be the one thing that I
That'd be
do.
a short-lived
Suicide.
task.
yeah, that's all I have to study.
That's all your list says.
It would be kind of fun though if you drew it out for like 10 years. Just talked about the different ways you could do it.
Yeah. But I would actually have to follow through. If I talked about it for that long, somebody better kill me if I, back out.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
then it would just be like somebody stealing your punchline.
Yeah,
At
that
the end
would
of a
be
joke,
rude.
you're setting it up, and somebody in the crowd's like, "Oh, it's a donkey!" You son of a bitch, get him out of here!
Just blow your fist through their face because that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
It makes me mad thinking about it.
But then you get an assault podcast thing going on.
An assault podcast. I like that. That's
Call it active assault.
that's I think I said that last week though, that I was looking at things for as far as like growing a podcast, and it was like, don't use the and podcast in your title, and we have that, so I cut that out from now, and I'm just like, wildly uninteresting. I was like, that says what it is. If somebody watches it, you're like, I think this is a podcast, but the title doesn't say so.
I feel like that's all just based off, they look at like the top ones that are listened to the most, like they just have the numbers, and they don't have the or podcast in the name. I can't imagine it really impacts it that much.
It could also be a thing like with DJs, because whenever they have DJ in their name, I immediately hate them.
Oh, I hate it.
But like Akira the Dawn or like Aphex Twin, I'm like, okay, that's
you
cool.
don't recognize what it is. You're right. If I hear DJ, I'm like, sir, are a punk.
Fuck you.
So weird.
It is. No, that's anything like that. Any rapper and that sucks because I love Lil Baby, but any rapper with
Lil
Lil
Baby.
in their name, I'm just like, what made you want to put Lil in front of it? Like, there's only one Lil, and that's Wayne. Like, he did it. He's good. I don't even think he goes by it anymore. Now it's just Wayne.
He's
I don't
Weezy.
know, he's Weezy.
I would accept a rapper named Lil Big Rick.
Lil Big Rick.
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
Oh my God, I can't wait for them to come out. What's up, little Big Rick? I hope you're out there
Yeah,
working.
if you're listening,
'cause-
give us a call. We'll play your tape.
There's definitely a Big Rick out there.
Lil Big Rick.
Lil Big Rick.
I need this in my
Definitely.
life. He would be my favorite rapper. Assuming
Without
it's
a
a
doubt.
man. If it's a girl, I'll like her just the same.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. No, but yeah, dude, I think that was a long way around saying that we have multiple interests. We are like multifaceted. We do and read and create multiple different, things. So if you are into that kind of thing and, just the wild stuff that the world has to offer, like, this is the podcast for you.
I'm not interested in any of that stuff.
You totally are.
All I want to do is wait for the wife to leave and then jerk off furiously in the bathroom.
Furiously.
Got him.
So you're like sweating and shit.
Yeah. And if the cat doesn't come along and rub up against my leg, it just wasn't done properly.
The cat does like to follow you around. He's so loving. I love it. When I
How-
was house sitting, when I went into the bathroom and I had to poop, and he came and laid on my lap.
How
awesome.
often are you and Casper, your wife, together? As far as, say, in a week's time period, how long do you all spend together?
A
in the
lot.
same place? So on an hourly basis, out of an entire week, you probably from 4
Fuck, man.
to
I don't know. She's been working late the last week or two because of shit, but yeah, I'd say at least 4 or 5 hours a day.
Do you ever find yourself where you kind of come up with excuses or whatever to like get out of the house and get away, or
Not
like,
yet.
go into a different room and shit?
No. I see we have a healthy balance kind of built in.
Mm-hmm.
Because, she paints and I have my little desk
Yeah.
And, it's like, all right,
Dude,
well, I'm
that
going to go knock out some work.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like it's helped me focus from, like, whenever I lived in an apartment, without a wife.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, I could just do whatever I want all the time. I'll work later.
Right.
But now it's like, all right, well, I'm going to hang out with Casper.
I want to come home.
Now I'm going to work.
Yeah.
And then I had, the desk and everything. It's just...
It's right there.
So, yeah.
It helps having that desk set up and those areas set up. It's like you and I, she'll be like say in the living room doing something, or right next to me making jewelry, and then I'm like editing a video or like researching some fucking equipment that's probably way too expensive, shit like that. Like, I think just having different things that you do helps. Of course, like early in the relationship helps, but I mean, after this long, I think we still do that. Well, I have things around the house and outside that I do, and Sarah has her things around the house and outside.
Plus, we're pretty comfortable spending time together and not actually saying anything.
I
That's
swear
a
to
good
God,
one.
that's one of the most important things.
It's
like,
so good to do that.
Yeah.
People don't realize. I think that social media and movies have kind of ruined that aspect of a relationship to just be. There's beauty in just being and not saying anything.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's like just a lot of empty people hoping talking to someone can save them.
Right? Yeah. Because we've had days where we literally say nothing to one another. I mean, we'll say, hi, I love you, good morning.
Yeah.
How are you? And
acknowledge the person.
Yeah. I mean, some days you just don't want to fucking do anything except exist and silently.
Indeed.
When there's I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that deal with it, so it's nothing special, but there's a certain amount of like depression and dark days that I get, anxiety days that I can't like physically bring words out of myself and show that, think I truly look like and sound like probably an asshole.
Yeah, at least
on
nothing
those days.
Positive or productive.
Right.
No.
Like, fuck this stuff.
Oh yeah. It's just like
everything translates to that.
Yeah.
just like a day I'm wading through the waters, just like, God, tomorrow if it doesn't get here, I'm gonna fucking like just get here already.
Can the day end? Jesus.
But there's beauty in just being quiet next to each other, enjoying the presence, because I feel like your presence is gonna be there after death. I feel like you're into this field, that energy. So the more you connect with just the energy, not sex, conversation, false fuck it, like going places.
Not the superficial crap.
Yeah. But that true essence of somebody, that spirit of them, if you can connect to that, once you get over into the afterlife, I think it'll be easier to find that.
That sucks. I was looking for death to be my escape.
That's like some people, bro. Like if I said that, they would probably just go out back and end it.
I'm gonna stop connecting with her.
But that's a lot of people miss that, and I find that a lot in some of the people that I'm around and some of the people I do work for. I find I'm like, why have you subjected yourself to years of this? Like you hate this person.
But it goes back to the idea of empty people. They'd rather just take the easy way or the quick way and think, well, this will work. It's like people that are in a shit marriage and they're like, well, we'll fix it with a kid.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Brilliant thinking.
Instead of doing the dirty work and just ending it and working on yourself, it's like, let's just throw a little more dirt on it.
Bring a human life into the situation.
What a burden to have in that situation. And then we watch shows about that and the amount of and it's usually always the guy. Not often is it the girl that has to pay child support, like ever. The guy usually dips out and then whatever. So it's just baffling to me, like what a burden that is, that you have, conceived something that will consume your life for forever, but definitely for 25 years.
I'm not going to teach you to read or walk.
Well, and it's like people just don't notice that it's a human being. They don't understand the magnitude of what having a baby is. They're like, it's fucking cute.
Well, they don't care about doing it right.
Right.
It's like people that'll eat like a shitty frozen pizza instead of learning how to make one.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, it's hot.
Yep.
That's good.
No
Now.
Good.
If I find a lot of people, and there's a lot of people in the trades that are either very unhappy cheating, or they're they had a kid and they thought that was going to be the answer. They thought it was going to be a little bit easier once they gave each other something to connect with, and it doesn't happen.
It's crazy.
Not to mention
thinking.
the ones that.
Well, I mean, it makes sense in the idea of like if we have a common enemy,
Right.
then we're fine. You know, if we have a common love, maybe something can grow from there.
Like, why wouldn't you
But it
go
is
to
stupid.
therapy together or something? Say,
Yeah.
we're having problems connecting. Can you help us? Like, we need to communicate and we can't do it.
Yeah.
It seems crazy.
I found the people that I have problems connecting with are the people that there was never a real connection
Right.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always just, all right, well, we like the same music.
Right.
We like doing drugs together.
Yeah.
Yeah, winner.
But,
Winner.
you know,
A lot of people too. They fall out of infatuation after that sex kind of gets out of the
yeah.
They fall out of that, man, and that's a rough one. I've been in that situation a few times, like a number of times, and you get down to you're like, what was I thinking? But you know, the sex was good, and then
You're
you're
like, I'm not horny anymore. What
Yeah.
the fuck did I just do?
not flooding my body with oxytocin every 2 minutes.
Seriously.
But that's another thing that I feel like plays into that, especially like the physical contact of, you know, two people. It's so great in the beginning, and then it doesn't get worse, but it just becomes something that is a part
not
of the
new.
life. It's
Yeah.
not new. It's something that is always in the air, but it doesn't have to be, you know,
It's not
whatever.
top
It doesn't have to be
priority.
addressed. You don't have to address it. It's not top priority anymore. Now you can build a life and careers and all that. So it's just I think people who do that, it's an extreme waste of time. Just like people who like run up debt, and they obviously should take out bankruptcy, right? But then they just accrue more debt, and then they turn all that debt into a consolidated loan, and then they don't pay that. And it's,
Making moves, and
Yeah.
getting in a better position.
and eventually the shit hits the face. So with me and Sarah, we talk very openly and like honest, which is hard conversations, but you have to do it. And for these people that get in those situations, they don't have it in them to back up and be honest with one another,
Right.
and just say, let's downgrade, let's take out bankruptcy and start. Because if it's going to happen in 7, 8, 9 years anyways, get it over now.
Are we talking about that asshole with the house he can't afford?
Well, yeah,
Matt?
just in
He's-
general.
Definitely in general, but for
Matt.
sure.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Matt.
It's
But
so
yeah, in
silly.
general, it's but that happens across the board, and I don't know what happened to. I know what happened. You know, they fed us all these ads, and we felt like we have to have it. Just like me buying products and thinking that just buy the best thing, and then you won't have to worry because I'm going to ponder it as soon as I buy the thing that's
Apple
lesser.
has proven that if you buy the best thing, you can worry about it less.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're Adam, and then
Unless
you,
you're me.
and then you.
Unless you can ruin anything.
I could do that. I told her I was looking at that. I was doing the editing on videos, and I saw it got really slow. Don't get me wrong, but it was because of the format, and Premiere doesn't work with it. But I mean, one little stutter, I'd be like, "Yep, need a new system."
Yeah.
Like just go
Yeah.
spend $6,000 for no reason.
Just looking for a reason.
But I think I swear to God, I think it is. They build that up in your psyche since you're a kid. I think they build that up because it's something I can't control, and it might be something from like my childhood,
Right.
and I'm covering it up with those things. That insecurity of not having the
Yes.
best could be another thing. But I do feel like those companies, man, have started young. They got us like when we were real young, and they were like, we won't get them now, but with 30, we'll bankrupt the shit out of them.
Well, I mean, they definitely do what were they? The apples that they were like smooth on they had a color strip basically. It was like blue, and the apple was the same color. It felt smooth. I remember how it felt because I loved it.
yeah.
It felt different than the rest of the computer.
It did.
Like stuff like that, especially as a kid, that the coloring of it, how it looks and how it feels and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still feel it. I know exactly.
And the clacking.
Yeah. Yes. And it had a handle. I mean, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
they're-
it is convenient for adults, but That's definitely aimed towards kids.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
There's people that are busting those old ones up, and you remember the old desktop
Yes.
Macintosh that was
Yes.
like blue, clear, and shit like that.
It was awesome.
They're taking those now and like pulling them all apart and putting all new like Apple parts in them so that they can use the old look,
Really?
but with all new.
That nostalgia
components.
money.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, immediately it made me think of newspaper because that's what we used to use. I mean,
Yeah.
I loved those computers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
call
were so
them
cool.
Hackintoshes.
Really?
It's an Hackintosh.
Nice.
I like it, man.
Is that really what they call them?
Yeah, the people do that build them.
That's
'Cause
crazy.
they're unofficial.
Yeah.
Super
I like that.
unofficial. Apple does not approve,
I
but
want a Hackintosh. They'll be all right.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
things that I
that'd be
wish I could hack. Like the phone, I wish I could create my own operating system, and we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible? I know you know all the code and stuff is a little different than what you would get with internet or like laptops and desktops, but like as far as the operating system goes on a phone, can you build your own operating system and make it work on a device that you have?
Yes.
That'd be awesome, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I can't, but
I feel like
Someone
at first,
yeah.
at first
genius
you probably
can.
wouldn't get hacked a lot because people don't know how to hack that. And if it's, a no-name fucking, internet connection, they're like, nobody cares.
It's like code talkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been talking about building his own computer.
Let's fucking do
Ooh, yeah,
I
dude.
know.
Do it.
Yeah.
I want him to do it so bad.
Do it.
It's been, I used to build them like I was younger. I built a couple in high school and then once I got out, but I looked at her, I was like, I don't know how much it would cost to build a video editing. That's all. I don't want to maybe get on the internet, but just to download LUTs and upgrades, hardware, software.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome to build one that is strictly for that. And then I would just export it to a laptop and then, export it from there. Like all it has to do is process 4K, 6K, 8K, 12K,
Yeah,
for the future.
strictly for editing stuff. The internet says you can build one for between $750 and like $3,000.
Yeah.
It might have been $2,000.
And yeah,
It's so affordable.
2000 was like the greatest
The top of the
shit.
line, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It is
It
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense though. It's like you could
I'm
build.
listening.
Oh my god.
What?
It
Shut up,
scared
bitch.
me.
What is it?
The phone.
Oh, sorry
oh
about
God,
that.
it's happening.
She scared the
They're
shit out of
taking
me.
over. It's time for the war.
Dude, that was crazy. I thought somebody was like tapping into the fucking like this and
We're
then
sitting here
talking
talking
to me.
about hacking shit, and you're like, "That's occurred right now."
You know, it made my heart beat a little crazy.
Yes.
I thought my security was under attack.
My security. They're talking to you through the shit.
Yeah, dude, I lose my shit. But I was watching Graham Hancock. I'm gonna get that name right,
love
and I'm
that
gonna
guy.
link it. Do you really?
Yeah,
You know what
he's
I'm talking about?
awesome.
Thank God. I told Sarah, I said, man, you got to listen to this guy, which we were listening to it right before here. And I don't know if she had seen him prior to that, but man, his views are awesome. And he has a view that, like Atlantis, right? The stories of it and all this stuff, which is now proved that, the story of Atlantis can be true because they found out that in that year, like 1600 years ago, that a big cataclysm happened and all that stuff, whatever. So it matches up to how
Was
the
it-
story goes.
I was like Younger Dryas or some shit. They're talking about how like it was in the shit where it was like in the eye of the Sahara in Africa and whatnot, and the waters receded and
Yeah.
now it's all desert and shit with the change of things.
It's so
Yeah,
crazy, dude.
he's a smart dude, and he's got an open mind.
Yeah, and I think that he goes against like what we normally would think about. I
Oh,
think that he's open, and it doesn't have to do with conspiracies. Is what I like.
Aliens.
It's fact. You know what I mean? I mean, he does believe.
Well, it's at least rooted in science.
Yeah, it's rooted in science. That's what's good.
Because I mean, along those lines, we keep finding things that says humanity as we know it has been around much longer than we've been giving them credit for. But at the same time, is that maybe faulty dating methods,
Right. Oh,
or
yeah, I did
is it
that.
actually an indicator? I tend to think it's actually an indicator, but you know, I put faith in science, and look where that gets me.
Well, I hate that. Like a lot of the story, I've actually, we were trying to listen to it a second time, but I hate that. I couldn't retain all of it the first time because I have to go back and then watch a few more that he has connected to it. But just that, so I like this notion, right? So he said that, and a lot of people feel like, oh, I would survive if everything crashed, if I have all this food up,
That's right.
I have, all this, the water, the food, all these, rations were good. I'll last. All
I
these
got guns
preppers.
and rice, bitch.
Yeah. All these preppers that do that. And that's what his theory is, that he was like, all those people that believe that they will not. Like when something crazy like it happens, they will be the first to die. And his view is that the only people that will truly survive it, right, are remote tribal, like tribes, like remote tribes in the Amazon and shit that have actually been surviving their entire life. Like they wake up, they survive, they go to sleep surviving, like they're constantly, and they're in contact with the earth. Like they live and breathe the earth,
If you live off the land, you'll never be without.
Right.
But we're too soft from society.
Yeah. And that's why it baffles me that the ones that believe that they're prepared, in reality, they're not. You're not connected to the planet. You're not connected to Earth.
Because they have a basement stocked full of shit.
Right.
So they're ready to survive if society comes back in 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
But, society disappears. It's like, well, my rice ran out.
I can't go get more rice. That's and then his afterthought in the situation when that does happen, those tribes go on years later. That generations live, and they tell this story of a magical land, called United States or Europe or China, whatever. These magical lands where they have ships that fly in the air. They have these beautiful buildings that shine like gold and shit. It's the same exact story of Atlantis. If you were a remote tribe that really had no knowledge of the real world and how it worked, or the modern world and how it worked, you would explain it the same way as they explained Atlantis.
Yeah.
That we believe they can speak all this stuff.
That's true.
I would like to hear a tribesman that's never been in the modern world see a phone where I can talk to you across the world, explain it.
Yeah.
Because that would sound a lot like
Witchcraft.
Atlantis. Yeah. Something like that. Or I don't even know. That's why I want to read the rest of the situation, because apparently, it draws a perfect parallel.
Yeah, there's way too much.
Yeah.
'Cause I've decided, once I finish, I get caught up on the Freemason podcast, I'm going to get a Graham Hancock audio book and just listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've
That's
watched
a good idea.
interviews and presentations he's done and shit. But, I want the full book. And it's cool because he actually narrates it. So.
Oh, really?
Oh,
It'll be
cool.
better.
I like his voice, too.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting. And then the scientific evidence that they have of cataclysm? Yeah, there you go. Of
You're right.
a massive sea level rise because of all the ice caps melted at one time. They have proof of that now. And given...
They have evidence of that now.
Yeah, evidence. Yeah, it's not, I guess not proof. Yeah. But they do have evidence that it happened, and it happened on the same timeline. And who told that story? There was I forgot which ancient
Plato?
Greek. Oh, wait, it was
Yeah, it was Plato.
Plato. Yeah, okay.
You're welcome.
That told the story of Atlantis, and he gives the date, and then he gives in reference to before a certain king that ruled there, and all this, and it all plays out perfectly on the timeline, which were. And I told Sarah, I think even the ancient Egyptians were the same way.
Ancient Egypt people.
Yeah, we downplay it like they lived it, these huts and all that shit, and they had this writing, and I think they were extremely technologically advanced. We just don't. All the other advances disappeared. They degraded. The earth reclaimed them, but the stone that was made from the earth didn't degrade, like the electronics and all that shit. So it just makes you think, like, how many times have we restarted as a civilization? How many times?
It's always bothered me that people assume that we are the most advanced people ever.
Don't they
Yeah.
though?
I thought that shit when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then I learned some things.
Yeah,
And I thought,
absolutely.
Wow, what if we're not?
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, with like that kind of shit, weren't they using limestone? I think
Yeah,
that's what it
wait,
was.
yeah.
So I mean, that's like notoriously long lasting.
Yeah, limestone, quartz. I think the front of it that's no longer there was actually, it was like sheeted in quartz.
Yeah,
That's why they believe like it was a battery or a power station.
yeah. I think they think it like shimmered and shit. It was all like shiny
God, it was
and
gorgeous.
pretty. So I mean, yeah, it's not like some barren desert with some shit rocks.
Right.
In a pyramid. It's like they had it going.
You know how I know we're not the smartest? We're not the most advanced?
You know how I know you're gay?
I do, because I
You
like...
like to suck dick?
Oh, got him.
Got him. The seventh largest pyramid in the world. Do you know which it is?
No.
You don't know.
No.
So this just go to show you. We think that ancient Egypt had these power stations that provided power for the world pretty much. And then they were transmitted through like obelisks and shit like that. Our seventh largest pyramid in our times is the Memphis Pyramid that is a Bass Pro Shop.
Get out of
Seventh
here.
largest.
Wow.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Driving down to Memphis? Yeah,
No, but
it's big.
that's stupid.
I know. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, score one for the rednecks.
Yeah.
A Bass
Woo.
Pro Shop, bro. And I don't think it provides anything but shelter for the shitty products that Bass Pro sells.
Shelter for the products.
That's it.
Guard them nets.
Yeah. What are you gonna do when something happens? Like, it's an all glass building. Go eat a dick. Like, it's not gonna do anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
But
going to be a terrible, terrible place to be.
I bet the one in Las Vegas is on the list, and it doesn't do nothing but make dummies spend money all the time. That I don't even know which casino that is, but you've seen it.
Yeah.
It shines that light. Yeah.
Yeah, that in New Vegas, the fucking Grand Theft Auto game, like in Vegas or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it's ridiculous.
Is
But
it
I don't
actually in
believe that.
Vegas? What game? What am I thinking? Because I remember running up a fucking pyramid.
Oh, is that the
don't
first
know.
person shooter?
Did you
No,
say
no.
Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of the Grand Theft Auto games.
I don't know.
Vice City?
I feel like Vice City is not.
Not-
But maybe.
No,
I
it's
don't know.
not. It's in Miami.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I doing? Have I even played this game?
No.
Man, I had
Yeah, I
a
was
dream
trying to-
or something. Did we talk with the Rents about doing Thanksgiving on Friday?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I had that going on, and I was like, yeah, we
that
were
a
talking
dream?
about- yeah, I thought it was made up.
Yeah.
So, great.
That's
Anyway.
awesome.
Oh yeah, because Thanksgiving has slowly encroached upon us.
Yeah, next week.
I don't know. Fuck Thanksgiving. All right.
Oh,
Pyramids and shit. So, that kind of ties into the tablets or whatever of Inky. Where like they had the shit.
yeah.
The pyramids were just kind of a thing. They were like a landing beacon or whatnot.
Right.
So,
So
be that.
I know that they don't provide the same amount of power or whatever they were there for, and I really believe that because there's a lot of things that we haven't been allowed to uncover. You're not allowed to study there anymore like you used to. So most of their stuff is like sonars that were taken a while back, probably in the 90s or 80s. So you don't have a lot of physical evidence to what things are, but they have chambers in there with these huge metal rods and stuff, and it looks very similar to what we would see as a battery, but this is on an extremely large scale. And there used to be a lot of water, and
I was thinking there's still water beneath.
yeah,
I feel like the Giza pyramid or whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But before, it was at a higher pace, and it would flow in and out so much that they think that it created hydroelectric,
Right.
which would be, that sounds right.
Yeah.
And all these obelisks are placed on ley lines throughout the world where energy is concentrated, and it's just interesting, and it's baffling knowing that we don't know everything. That's awesome. It's
I know,
awesome not to know.
I would love to know everything.
Yeah.
It sucks.
That's why the digging continues.
Yeah. Hell yes.
That's why I truly hope that we do reincarnate. I hope this is a cycle. Eventually you get off that cycle, but I hope it is, because even though I won't know it, I would hope that wherever my spirit goes in the next life, continuing on, just to experience it again.
I was thinking you might know it like in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh man, I fucked up that. Like I did that's the third life. I fucked that up. Then you just...
What? Because a lot of people that die and that, get brought back, they say that they were aware of who they were. They saw people they loved and their family throughout the years and who they've met. Maybe you are that essence through that, but you kind of forget after you're birthed again, I guess.
Yeah.
You're reborn, you forget eventually. They
Wipe
say
it clean, hit him with the illusion.
Yeah.
Maya.
Put the veil over his eyes. I feel like if it did continue on, though, a lot of people that they can recall their past lives and shit, whether that's, just, I don't know, maybe the energy's floating in the atmosphere and the kid just like tunes into it. There's a certain wavelength they tune in. Whether it's that or it's an actual continuation of somebody's life into this next one, and then they kind of forget as they get older. But most of the kids that remember their past lives forget as they get older. A lot of parents write it off as, they're just making stuff up because they're a kid. They have imagination.
But then they don't take into account that they have dreams every night and they don't remember them.
Right? Oh, shit.
Oh, I remembered that when I woke up. And then by noon, you're like, what the fuck did I dream?
Yeah.
Yeah, but your kid's
Same
probably
concept.
a liar.
Your kid's a liar.
That's that feels like the same concept to me.
Yeah.
You forget so quick. Humans nowadays in the modern world, we're just not connected, man. We're not connected. We think we are because the illusion of being connected on the phone.
The crap, like with the idea of being connected, like to the earth and shit.
Yeah.
This past week at work, like I'm walking around the parking lot, and then I always look off in the distance because you can kind of see like I don't know if you would consider it a hill or a mountain or whatever, like going down the Gene Snyder, like off to the right, there's those trees that go up that, whatever that is. And like I look at that, and for some reason this week I felt like connected to the earth and shit. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a human being walking around on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And I'm just surrounded by all this man-made shit.
Yeah.
And instead of like connecting to the idea of a society or a culture, it's not like I live in Louisville, Kentucky with, it was like I'm just fucking thing on this planet doing things. And it was weird.
It is
because
weird.
like it felt like incredibly different than how the day normally does.
That'd be almost like viewing yourself in the third person, like you viewing yourself walking behind yourself, like this is a human within a living world.
Yeah. And then I tried to like mentally just take out all the buildings and structures and stuff, and it's like, all right, cool, man.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. You should focus energy into being able to connect to that on a regular basis.
Hell yeah. Definitely gonna.
Yeah. What a cool idea.
That's in lies like and I feel like it's my fault or what I'm doing mentally,
It
but
is.
yeah. Like there was a good year there where I was like, I was really connecting with that stuff. I was having astral projections just on a whim and shit. And now that I've been trying to further that and then get deeper and all that, and I think a lot of it has to do with the company. I'm not focused on things. I'm not doing, what I truly love to do most of the time, that I get disconnected from myself. Or I get, I've been reading about products and listening to ads.
You're not eating Parmesan cheese. What do you really love to do?
Dude, I've eaten Parmesan cheese. More Parmesan cheese.
Cheese comes from the earth. What do you...
But that's something that I feel like it's my mental let me know, like, hey, you're getting off track. We were trying to show you something, and you just refused to listen, and you continue down this road of not connecting. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the more I try, I'm like trying to figure out, well, what is it that is disconnecting me? Find that and then fix it.
Yeah.
Because being connected is probably 10 times better. Even if you're broke, poor on the street, I bet it's 10 times better.
For sure.
It feels a lot more real and like it's more involving.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to do what you think you should do or what you've been told to do, just run with your gut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's I always ask that
huge
question.
Feeling.
Yes.
Be just gigantic. I can't imagine walking around connected to that all the time.
I know. No.
Be badass.
Yeah.
It might separate us from a lot of things. A lot of our own suffering is mentally. Like we do it to ourselves. And we allow the outside stuff, that poison, to get in, whether that's through social media, products, stuff like that. We allow that shit to come in, and it just further departs us from what's true.
I also kind of feel, though, like we need some balance of that. Because I mean, it seems reasonable to exist in this time as a means of like, all right, well, we need to find the balance between nature and structured.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
And there has to be crap in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's just like the idea of, oh, let's connect to the earth. Well, let's go live in the fucking forest.
Yeah.
And then like 3 months in, I'd be thinking, man, I miss my toaster.
God, I would love to have Wi-Fi out here.
Yeah. But, you know, and those things aren't inherently bad by themselves.
Right.
Like Wi-Fi and shit, that's a modern miracle that people overlook all the time.
Yeah.
Bluetooth and shit, modern miracle, looked over. But, you know, I just feel like we've used them in an unintelligent way, a childish way. We've done with them what, you know, what the history books speak of, the idiots who their own demise, and you know they could have seen this coming. They have algorithms that could have told them, you know, and do tell them. Yeah. And they didn't listen.
They just don't
heed
listen.
the warning.
The fact that people don't listen to the warnings is beyond me.
How could you discredit something that, like, all right, just say the one study done by BP or ExxonMobil, whichever one it was, about
whatever fuck ass company,
about where they should position themselves once global warming got here. They did that study in the 60s. It came true. Not only did it come true, but it was like 10 years faster than what they thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
But they knew it. You know how they knew it? By scientific studies. So those of you who look at scientific studies, credible scientific studies, and don't believe them, or just write them off as whatever, or you're a Christian and you're like, we don't believe in that.
I was going to say, because God didn't put it in the Bible.
Yeah. Honestly, we don't need you here.
Right.
You know, and the world needs to be more open on every aspect of life. And if you can't open yourself up and look at the evidence and shit, we don't need you. Like, go to stuff them all in a convent somewhere, and let them just fucking like kill each other. I don't know, like Hunger Games style.
So put them in a cave.
Put them in prison.
Ooh.
But I mean, it just speaks to the idea that humanity in general doesn't learn from the mistakes of others.
Right.
And, you know,
you have to do everything
I haven't always
yourself.
done that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like there are plenty of things in my life to where it was like, I know that it's worked out horribly for others, but I'm going to be different.
Yeah. Oh,
and I wasn't.
Yeah. No.
So, you know, with a bunch of people being smarter than us and a bunch of people being stupider than us, it's understandable. Yeah. The idiots fucking shit up.
Yeah. Well, and you're right. I think we all do that to a certain degree. Like, none of us, you know, listen to the parents, watched others' mistakes and be like, yep, not going to do that.
Yeah.
And you might have done some of those subconsciously, but the majority of the time you're like, nah, I'm different. I'm going to do this different. Done.
They were just idiots.
Yeah, they were just stupid.
They don't know how to control their life right.
Yeah. And then it ends up, but
I'm a master manipulator. I can change everything. Oh, why didn't it work?
Even common sense.
Yeah.
That's you know, I think though for a massive group of people in the 8 billion or is it 8 billion, 9 billion range, I think that there's a vast majority of people that just want to be hard-headed about it, just want to do what they want to do, and they're not going to listen to global warming and any other catastrophic event like an asteroid, because every month we get a new report of a meteor or an asteroid that had a close call with Earth that we didn't see coming.
That just happened. It was small. It was like the size of a house or some shit. Yeah. But they had no idea it was around until it had already passed. It was the closest one that had, in a long time. It was so close to us.
Now imagine that.
You know, in a big scheme.
Yeah, imagine that on a larger scale, something that could really destroy us. And the fact that we don't put, we see what's in front of us on Earth. We don't really look outside of that. So NASA isn't funded that much. The only, like Elon and the billionaires are, but it's privately funded. The people don't give a shit. It's privately funded.
Right.
And I just feel like we're not putting emphasis on the things that need to be watched carefully, because how many stories in history books or in theology come down to an asteroid or a meteor hitting, and then it caused like a winter that lasted for 50,000 years or whatever.
At least 11.
At least, bro. And we won't listen to that. We don't turn our eyes upwards and look at and a lot of people are Christian. They don't believe that those stars are
there's nothing
other
beyond
suns.
it.
Yeah. They don't believe in galaxies.
Who are these idiots?
I've worked with a lot of them. There's a substantial amount of Christians that do not believe that there's like another galaxy, that there isn't a heaven up there, that there's like, or that, yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like they believe that it's us, there's a hell, there's a heaven, which both of those are made up, and that all that shit up there doesn't exist. Yeah.
It's not there. There are no galaxies. There are no... I wonder, I guess there would be... I guess there's other planets, because would they accept our galaxy? Or is it just Earth and that's it?
They may, which, and I try to
the
exclude,
cave with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to exclude myself from a lot of those conversations. I just kind of walk away or laugh it off. But I've had at least 4 or 5 of them where people, they don't believe that, and they also don't believe in like scientific studies, but are the same people that take the medicine the doctor gives them. You know what I mean? Or they'll get the surgery that the doctor recommends.
Well, God allowed them to find that medication.
Oh, yeah.
Science didn't create it. God gave it to them.
God gave it to me. Thank him for that.
Oh God, it'll irritate me until the day I die. Why can't they think God gave us the ability to create this, or God created all these galaxies? Like, why?
'Cause that implies accountability.
That is crazy to me. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Everything
it pisses me
everything
off.
that goes right in my life is because God gave it to me. Everything that goes bad is because of the devil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so dumb.
Well, that's
Fucking
how they
kill
think
me.
too, though. I mean, there are a lot of them too that believe that God and science work hand in hand.
Right.
Like God gave us the ability to do this stuff like this. So there are people out there that believe that. But for like West Virginia, Kentucky, the Bible Belt in general, they don't accept none of those things. A lot of them won't go get medical attention because they believe that's they don't believe in getting medical attention to the body or playing God or whatever.
What God wants will happen. So.
Yeah, His will be done.
How awful would that be that you don't believe in medical intervention?
Oh.
So if you live, you live. If you die, you die. That'd be awful.
You could die
I
of
guess
anything.
Is that
maybe
the
not.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dumbass.
I know.
As I started learning a little bit about Zoroastrianism or
Yeah.
whatever.
What the fuck
Oh.
is
Familiar
that?
with that?
Sounds great.
I'm
It's
gonna
like
write that down.
Zoroastra is like the Greek version of Zarathustra, who was like this dude in Iran who had his own vision from God, and he laid out some shit and whatever, and it was like the main religion of 3 empires in Iran, which at the time I guess was Persia.
Yeah.
And it led that, and then some shit happened, and Alexander the Great burned some of their shit. Who he's Alexander the Great, but they call him Alexander the Accursed.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucker. And then this dude who was a Zoroastrian helped them, and he freed some Jews at one point.
Yeah.
And then in, I think, the book of Isaiah is the first time that they mention Yahweh as being a singular creator of everything. And that comes from the Zoroastrian stuff.
Oh.
So then from there, it goes into the Christian shit.
Yeah.
And then basically my point is I feel like if people would pay more attention to where things come from,
Yeah, for sure.
they would view it way differently.
Yeah.
Without thinking, oh, it's heresy. It's like, just learn your shit. It's essentially evolved Scientology.
Yeah.
Right. But why learn it if you can make sense of it in your head and then fight some enemy that doesn't exist, and you can just exclude all that.
Man, I saw a headline that says if people are fighting against their shit, it gives them meaning in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So it's easier that way. So it basically equates to people staying in shitty relationships and having kids. So they're going to stay with their stupid belief system that is broken and retarded that came from somewhere else.
I'm going to open my phone when we get off the podcast. The article you're talking about, I was reading it when I was sitting there listening to that video, and that's pretty much what the article is about, is having a common enemy that that doesn't exist, allows them to simplify all the situations into this fight that they can fight with their intellect or through anger or whatever, and it gives that bond, and it gives the hero story kicks in, and then it gives them that sense of purpose in a world where they feel like they've gone down the wrong road, or they got dealt a bad hand, like we talk about. And that's pretty much what the article, I mean, it's proven that we do that, and it's proven that we, down to our base level, we look for patterns. That way we can find our way out of danger. Yeah. So when these stories are spun to us and the conspiracy theories are spun to us, we're like, we can put the patterns together. We can watch out for this common enemy, and we can be the heroes of our own story. Purpose. Now they feel like they're king of the world.
Whatever.
Yeah. So maybe instead of working on hacking your phone or whatever, find a way to algorithmically alter people's views of things and get them out of that.
Please do that.
Yeah.
Facebook them into being better.
Facebook them in. I love it. It's just fucking insane. And I don't know. People suck. That's how I feel. It's just so frustrating to me that people are so fucking stupid. Yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying that I'm not stupid. I definitely am. But
you're an idiot.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're a superior idiot.
Yeah.
You're at least, I think you at least have enough intelligence to know that you don't know it all, that you are a little on the stupid side.
I don't know
we all are.
Fucking thing. I know nothing.
All I know is that I don't know nothing.
Yeah, all I know is the cats. I know them very well. That's about the extent of my brain power.
I know their names. I know their good scratching points. I know what they eat.
Yeah. Hell yes. I know what their body language means.
Ever since we listened to the Freemasons podcast and actually got the message that they were spinning, and then watched the part 2 to that one that he did, it was super interesting because at least people are talking about that shit, and he's actually just reading it, not giving you an opinion or trying to direct your opinion towards a certain thing, which I really enjoy. That's all I want with the information. Yeah. But on the same lines, man, throughout history, the Church of Alexander that held all of these the seeds of life, the history, all that were burned. And I don't know if it might have been by Alexander, whatever. You just said
Alexander the Accursed.
Yeah. Or either that or it was done during the Crusades. It might have been the Crusades.
Yeah, I feel like it was more Crusades.
Yeah. That's why I'm mixing up the two, but the Church of Alexander was just burned.
I could be wrong, but I also heard that it was for one, it's a library. Of
Alexandria. Okay.
But they say that it's been kind of blown out of proportion how it eventually went down.
Oh, okay.
It's there were problems here and there. It wasn't like a grand burning of it.
Oh.
But, I'm still working on it, so don't take my word for it. Do your homework, people.
That's another thing, too, because it's intensive to... on the brain to read and research and follow all these stories, and if you take notes, to take notes and keep it up there. 'Cause I'll watch a video 3 or 4 times, but guess what the Q people do, or conspiracy, or people who don't believe Christian stuff.
I knew it.
Yeah, they don't have to read once or twice. It's so simplified, and the pieces of the puzzle are so simplified that they get it the first time. They stick to an opinion, and they do not change.
Like a beach read.
Yep.
For the grander things in life.
Their opinion does not waver one bit.
So
they're all about it.
In my bag that I take with me to work, I have a notepad. And whenever I'm just sitting around watching YouTube videos, I take notes.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
And it's like when I go back and look at the notes, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I wrote that down. Yeah. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. It's super good to do that, man. I'm a terrible note taker or writing down things like that. And I've wanted to do that for quite a while because it's so. I'll watch them 3 or 4 times. Eventually, I get it, but it'd be nice just to watch it once.
Yeah.
Take notes.
Sometimes I do that too, to where it's like it's just background noise, and then by like the 3rd time I've watched it, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. Finally, I fucking get it.
Yeah.
That's with a lot of my stuff.
That's what I have to do. I have to see something multiple times for it to really stick in my head, or read it multiple times, whatever it is, for it to really get in there. Otherwise, I'll not remember anything. No.
It is easy to forget shit.
Yeah.
That's
My poor brain.
I don't know, man. I think that's why I like. I mean, I love and hate like editing those videos and stuff, but it's so fun to just get lost in something that you're creating. It's cool in the digital world because it's right there in front of you. It's not technically tactile, but it is because you're playing with it.
Yeah.
As much as I like shooting things, I also like that editing process of a video like this. You just throw them all together, cut it up a little bit, it's different. But just that creative stuff, like getting lost in that and trying to get my mind back right. It's just fun to get lost out of this real world because, in my opinion, this real world kind of blows. You know what I mean? And the weirdness going on and anger and hate. I hate it. See?
Yes. Look at you with your hate.
Look at my hate.
So I agree with you to a degree, but I feel like a separation of yourself from that stuff.
Yeah.
Just see the good in the world and the potential that you could do yourself. Basically just isolate.
Yeah.
And build within that. I mean,
got you.
Accept that everything is crap and it's going to hell, but that's been happening for the last 1,500 years.
Oh, I guess we're always in that state. Yeah.
Well, and I think too, which it's good to do that sometimes, to just disappear into something else, but to completely avoid things, which is not what you do. But
no, that's where the trouble happens.
Absolutely. That's why we're drug addicts. We don't like dealing with shit. You have to find a different way to deal with whatever is going on and causing your stress and shit.
That's why people believe in the Q and all the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, because they don't know how to deal with what the fuck's going on. Stuff. Yeah.
Even within themselves, they don't know how to do it.
Right.
So imagine what they feel about the outside world.
God.
I
don't even know where to begin.
And that's I think too that we talked about it in the truck. It's and we're not saying, we just said it, we're not saying that we're smart or above anybody else for any other reason. That I feel like you're on the same exact line.
I'm above a few people.
But we've always felt bad. Is there's nothing that we feel so strongly about that we'll yell at the top of our lungs or fight about or really stand up for it. And I told Sarah, I said, honestly, I think it's more because we're intellectually more developed in the sense that we see that there's a bigger picture here. All these things that people get mad at are all man-made, fictitious things. Politics, money, anything. All the things that they're worried about, especially the Q people, are all man-made things to distract you from what the bigger picture is. Now, that's where the hard part comes in because we don't know the bigger picture.
Right.
But we're intellectually developed enough to know that all these man-made things in the grand scheme of an infinite universe does not matter. It's not worth wasting your intellect on this pointless man-made bullshit.
Well, for the majority of people, I agree.
Oh, okay.
But there are a few that have their hands in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's they can actually sway things. But for the vast majority of the population, maybe shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's just hard for me to get so invested in anything. And I'll watch everything that people send me and shit. And I'm not against seeing your viewpoints. But there's nothing that I'm going to invest so much in that I couldn't be swayed if more evidence appears.
Yeah.
If conflicting evidence appears. And you have to be that way, I feel. Or you're destined to be led astray by the nose from the political leaders. And not the cabal. I don't even know if it exists.
Hey, come on, the cabal exists. Don't get talking crazy.
Well, even in the stories that we talk about, there's always that hidden entity. There's always that secret society that, really pull the strings in the
underbelly.
Oh,
the
yeah.
shadow.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't it go on now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that shit exists. I just don't think that it's as fucking extreme as
maybe it's not the Bilderbergs.
Right.
I just feel like at the end of this thing, when you are laid to rest and you cease to breathe and all that, it shouldn't have mattered to you that much, because this is where we all end up. The cabal, the people in politics, the presidents, the leaders, the kings, queens, and peasants. We all end up in this weird place underground, and the earth reclaims us to start anew and create another stupid, pointless human story.
Yeah.
But why not just argue and fight the whole time you're here, like little babies?
Because otherwise it's a boring story.
I guess.
It's actually shit you can do.
We ate turnips and we made helicopters.
Turnips are terrible.
And nobody fought at all.
Maybe we're just too comfortable as a species that, we have air conditioning, TVs, all that. Like, we have to create our own conflict because we're not getting chased by tigers anymore.
I don't need the conflict. The people who need conflict are just a different type of person.
Man, that would be a cool punishment for people that get too uppity on the internet.
Get chased by a tiger?
Yeah. All right. Well, you got your tiger duty now.
Yeah. I love that idea.
Stick a tiger on them. Let's go.
Say, look, this does happen.
Look, I bet if we did that instead of, send people to prison, that the vast majority of them would change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put them in like imminent real life danger instead of throwing them into the system.
Yep. Yeah. For sure. Actually give them a chance. Now, there's still some people who, it doesn't, serial killers are fucked. Pedophiles are fucked. But, I mean, you could possibly change them, but I don't think a tiger's going to do it.
Right. But, we talked about that too. There's no tolerance within those groups. Like, they don't believe that transgenderism is like a thing. They don't believe that that's something that they don't believe that we should normalize stuff. Okay, and then I'll put another extreme on the table. They also don't. There's a lot of people that are trying to normalize pedophilia. Not normalize it in the sense like, oh, you can fuck kids. It's all good. We're not gonna lock you up anymore. Yeah, but we're not gonna persecute you like as a person because you have this mental defect of being a pedophile. We're gonna try to work with you, be compassionate, and learn how to deal with it, and see what we can do to fix it. Instead of just like throw them with the wolves,
Shock it out of them.
Yeah. So for those people who can't open up and that's the thing. You don't have to like it. You don't have to be a part of it. You don't have to whatever. But we as a people have been shut down to everything for so long. You know what I mean? For a vast majority of the time, it was slaves and how we used people and sold people and stuff like that. And then you move in and we're intolerant to gay people.
They were 3/5 of people.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So they were actually, there was a number on it, I guess. But you get what I'm saying? Like, it amazes me how shut down people are. We have to be compassionate with one another on a human level. Now, I'm not even saying like, you have the science behind it, whether these things are mental imbalances or you have too much estrogen or too much testosterone. Yeah. I'm just saying on a basic level, you have to accept humans because we're all going through this experience as they come, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody persecutes you for being an idiot. You just have to.
No shit.
You know what
so
I mean?
we can stop yelling about the Christians and the flat earthers because they're just decent people having their own troubles.
We probably should.
No!
But this is our podcast.
Piss
we get
poor attitude.
We get to talk about whatever we want.
Burn the Christians and the idiots.
And that's what you can have your opinion, but to truly hate and truly disregard somebody going through their human experience.
Right.
And that's why I told you, like, a lot of these human experiences, a lot of the depressions, anxieties, whatever it is, come from a basis of the mind. Like, it's something that goes on in the mind or in the physiology of the human itself.
Right.
And for you to persecute them for being what they are. Now, as far as pedophiles, I come from a place where I just want to burn them all at the stake. If I hear, you know what
Portland.
I mean? Yeah.
Well, because unfortunately, right now there's nothing that can really be done to help them. People are working on it,
because we've been shut down for so long. We don't just lock them up and persecute them, make them look stupid.
Throughout time, there's only ever been a few people who really care and are working on it.
But think about if you were open to a lot, and not just that, like murderers or rapists, stuff like that.
Yeah.
we would be, it wouldn't be hidden in a closet.
I mean, even all of that comes down to the idea of you can feel whatever impulses you want, just don't act on it.
Right, you have to find a way to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's possible. It's completely possible.
I frequently want to drive into people.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I don't, yeah.
Oh, I've been close before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. And I mean, you can feel however you want. Like we sit here and we talk shit about all kinds of things. At the end of the day, I'm not going to treat somebody any differently because I think they're an idiot. Like I am nice to.
I mean, I would treat them differently.
Yeah.
But not negatively.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
I think we do it in a sense to invoke thought. Because it's so funny, like if somebody came on here, let's just say we had like a pedophile on here and they were explaining like this is what I deal with on a day-to-day basis. We'll never have that happen, I'm telling you. But we wouldn't.
I kind of like to do that.
Cool with it.
We wouldn't. There's no way. And I only say that because that's one of the big ones on these people's list.
How does it feel to know that the majority of the world wants to watch you die slowly?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That doesn't feel good.
But we've had people with very conflicting ideals to what we believe.
Yeah.
We've had people that believe in the things that were, they're all stupid, whatever. And the thing is, we made jokes of it. We're invoking the thought. We're invoking the conversation. We're awakening it. Yeah, whatever. For people to talk, for people to say you get upset. At least you're thinking of the possibility of it. But if you shut down all those ideals, we can't make our society any better by ignoring it or killing it off or, sweeping it
under the rug.
You can't. And as much as I hate, the whole pedophile thing, I do agree with the fact we shouldn't normalize it to where they're able to do it.
Right.
But you have to talk about it. You have to come up with solutions.
What if we set up a situation to where if you're a third grader and you're in suspension for the 6th time that semester. All right, the pedophiles can have you. You keep fucking up.
Just give them the ones that are
tigers.
clearly. Those are the equivalent of a tiger for a child.
You can get the Chomo pen or the tiger. What do you want?
Please send me to the Jomo. Please send me to Jomo.
And I think too, man, we give a lot of our mental downfalls, our mental imbalances, the chemical imbalances. We give them a lot of life in this world. You know what I mean? Because there's things that happen, and it's how everybody from the time they were little to now has created this human. Say the human's 30 years old, right? All the experiences combined made this one human. Now, whether that's humans gay, heterosexual,
a Braves
transgender,
fan.
Yeah.
A what?
Or they Braves fan.
Oh.
A Braves fan.
I heard Braves. I didn't Braves fan.
And the list goes on, whatever caused it, we're not arguing over whatever the scientific facts are behind why we don't care about that. What we care about is having the conversation and teaching people who otherwise wouldn't have compassion.
Yeah.
That way we can, open the floor. Everybody feels okay for being a human. Then you can knock out depression and anxiety because now they feel comfortable being in their own skin.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's baffling, man, being shut down to anything. And that's something that we're not. If somebody come in here and had a hella good story about Christianity and whatever, I mean, just knocked you on your feet, off your feet, we would sit there and listen and have a conversation about it. We wouldn't be like, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But if the conversation felt like he was stupid, we'd probably say it.
Oh, no, we would just ask questions.
Yeah.
You can believe whatever you want, but, if I want to ask questions, I should be able to.
Tell me about this.
Yeah. Challenge it, for sure.
All it is. The same thing could happen with us. Someone can come on here and ask us questions. That's totally fine. The whole thing is, like he said, is conversation.
It also just depends on each person's level of comfort.
Yeah.
Because, we can ask whatever questions, but they're also inclined to not answer them. And that's fine, too.
Yeah,
we don't want to talk about this. I'm with you. There's some things that I don't like to talk about, but I fucking will.
There's very little that I won't answer.
Yeah. Even if that fucking answer hurts and it hurts to say it to somebody, I'll just squeeze it out. I'm just like,
Little poopies. I don't think there's anything I wouldn't answer.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't think of a single question that I would shy away from.
Yeah, and it has a lot to do with experiences in life. You've been, you've been
I've
down
been
the
trash.
hole. Yeah.
I feel like for me, it would just depend on who asked the question.
Right.
And like
Ooh.
what the atmosphere of it was.
Yeah.
And what the motivations behind the questions were, I think matters a little bit. You know.
But then, if I have the opportunity to answer a question I don't really want to answer, but it'll fuck that person up. And it's like, let's answer that question.
That's a dope one. No, man. But as far as we're gonna switch this conversation entirely. I'm sure a lot of people are probably gonna get pissed off about that, but that's fine.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah. So I would like to know on filming how we did this last video with Lance. I feel
Mr. Spreadlow.
Yeah, I think we fucking killed it with iPhones, right? I think the video looks great with iPhones.
Yeah.
But I felt this overwhelming need to have like a better DSLR, have more focal length control and shit like that. But I feel like some amazing shit can be done with phones.
Yeah.
I wanted to get your opinion on it because after I was editing and I could see it on a big screen, I was like, it all came out super clear and it was all balanced well
Yeah, it looks
from a
great.
phone.
Yeah, dude, it just depends on who you have using it and editing this stuff.
Yeah.
That matters a lot, don't
So
it?
if we tried to get Couch to help out, it would fucking suck.
Yeah.
But, with me and you, maybe give something to Kenny or Fowler.
Yeah.
They can make it work.
Yeah.
But,
If you had me edit that shit,
yeah.
it would be garbage.
Like
Yeah.
a toddler made it.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, even filming, I think there's a lot that didn't tell us that.
Yeah, there's no way I could film.
There's a lot
Unless
about
you
the
tell me exactly what to do.
Even
Yeah.
then, I feel like you'd fuck it up.
Yeah, there's a good possibility, yeah. Because if something happened where I had to use like my intuition, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
It'd be like, oh, that's beautiful. What happened?
Yeah. And I feel like as a matter of like working with lights or like holding a mic in a specific way,
Yeah.
you could nail it because it's a
I
lot
can do
more.
that for
It's a lot
sure.
more specific and
Yeah.
scientific.
Yeah.
But yeah, here, hold this and film something in a way that evokes this emotion.
Yeah.
What?
Nope. I don't even
No.
know how to feel that emotion.
I'm gonna go
not-
home.
Yeah.
With cheese there.
Yeah.
So as far as the filming part of it, would you? Do you want to get to a place where you like manually do everything with a camera?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you wanted to stick because honestly, like I said, man, every one of those videos that we took come out super clear and everything. But
That was
there's
fantastic, but I could always be happier.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's an art in changing, manipulating the focal length of something, and then like balancing all the ISO, f-stop. All that shit is rough to get that great exposure, get all the details you want is rough.
It's a
But yeah,
headache.
but the phone, which because the processor and it processes the image to, the best settings, whatever. But the phone fucking kills it, dude. I think about that. I know why a lot of people would prefer to use a phone because they're just so decent,
Well, and
bro.
it's so much easier to like
So
carry
mad
around
decent.
and stuff. I mean, you need
that
such
too.
like so much less to use your phone. You
Yeah.
need your gimbal if you're going to use it, the phone, and like a lens if you want it.
It's for like at work sometimes when I'm walking around the parking lot, like I'll pull out a lens and
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I can do this. But the other day I had my tripod out because I figured I would do like a long exposure or whatever
Yeah.
of the shit. And just walking around the parking lot with the tripod, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Little
when I
douchebag.
when I had that.
Even Charles, he asked me about it. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing with that tripod? I was like,
Yo,
I
that's-
figured I'd try something.
That's I swear, man. That's when we're doing something like that. That's why I'm glad it was at a warehouse stuff. And the dude that let us in was a film editor, like a producer, all that
he
shit.
knew what we were doing.
Yeah,
gets it.
because like when we go out to shoot, we went out to Bloomfield just to take pictures, a few videos, and I just felt goofy having this thing. Like with the phone, it's so undercover. You can just be like, everybody takes pictures with them. You're not nothing.
Yeah.
But it feels so weird. I'm like, I feel,
Yeah.
insecure with it, like self-conscious.
You
Like
got to figure out
well,
how to accept it
See,
as your other limb.
that aspect doesn't bother me because like
Really?
whenever I go out and I'm doing shit like outside of work, I take my bag with me. I slap the tripod in there, got my lenses and shit,
Yeah.
And if people see me doing things, I'm like, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
creating. What are you? You're just walking around smoking.
Yeah, you're in my fucking shot.
Yeah.
Yo, that is.
Sometimes
guess
I do
look at
like
that
to
way.
include the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Hell
like,
yes.
that enriches the world.
Yeah.
I can imagine that they're a different way, but
Looking at
It's
that
just-
way, it's a lot better.
Get your
ain't it?
fucking footage, man. Fuck everybody.
I know. It's just so, and then, lenses after that and a tripod. And then say you have some sound equipment and shit. I only had one guy that like made me feel okay about it.
Yeah.
I was filming on the bridge for your video and they come up and I'm like, shit, I was so embarrassed. I'm like closing shit up and looking at it. And he walks by and he's like, oh man, what are you filming? What is it? And I told him, he's like, oh, that's awesome, dude. He was like, well, good luck with it. Sorry we got in your shot. And I was like, well, people don't care. But I just feel like, you know what I mean? They're like, this asshole with a camera, think he's doing something.
And that man was Bobby Tingle undercover.
Yeah. BTU.
BTU. No, but that's something I would say. I could see myself like professionally, if I could make like what I do now, maybe a little more, doing like film and editing and shit. Like I want to get to that place because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy seeing the world through that. And what we were just talking about, if you can film something that covers a hard story, you do it in a creative way where people accept the message.
Right.
Like you could change the world with video. It evokes that feeling and shit. You could change.
Which is why you need to get cards made for like your whatever the fuck it's called. I don't remember. But then have like your YouTube channel.
Bodega French fries.
Like a link on there, Bodega French fries. Yeah, have that and then like a number to where they're like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm a filmographer or whatever
Dude,
the
that'd
fuck
be
you want to
awesome.
do. And then you just, and they're like, oh, well, this is cool. Or like, oh, this is dumb. But even if they throw your card on the ground, some homeless bloke might walk around and say, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
then they burn
saying
it.
for warmth.
Yeah.
That's it's funny you mentioned homeless people. I told her, I was like, I'd love to do something where we film and take pictures of the homeless, and not to benefit from it, but to raise money, like give these people a story, highlight these people who are otherwise forgotten, raise money for it, and then put that back into help for the homeless, whether it's food, money, or assistance.
That'd be cool, because then you could not only tell the story of the ones that are genuinely struggling, you could find the ones that are just fuck faces.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, now I can spot them. And
Yeah, man. It helps.
But like,
better
here
the
you go, man.
situation.
Here's some bullion money.
Yeah.
Bolton money.
That's. I just feel like with that art and visual representations of things and telling the story of it, where otherwise you would never come in contact with these people or hear the message. I think video could do that. I think also music can.
Yeah.
And it's exciting that we both do music. We both record music, video. We create. You write. I don't do much writing, but you write.
You write.
Yeah, but
Just
not
not
very good.
enough.
Yeah, not enough. So I think about that, and it sucks for the people who only have one thing that they do in life. Like we're all taught that we have to have that one thing. And Bodega French fries is the best because we can have these multifaceted things that we love to do.
Well, I feel like
on
it's
one channel.
easier to tell someone, focus on one thing, than it is to say, you really need to get good at 7 things.
Yeah. Do anything you want.
I didn't
everything.
finally teach you to read until you were 8, but you could probably do a handful of things. No. Learn how to pipe weld.
That would be awesome. Learning how to weld would be cool as shit. I'd love to be able to weld.
Casper wants to.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can
Oh, yeah,
imagine
I
all the
think
things
so,
I
yeah.
could make.
Yeah.
I told her to just find trash and like weld it together.
Yeah.
But she had more of a goal in mind, whatever
We'll start
fuck
there.
that's about.
Start
That's,
welding trash.
Weld
and then,
trash.
Yeah, go from there.
I think people, that's the hardest part about it is you're saying like learn that one thing and learn it well. It goes back to the intellectually, more developed.
Right.
Is the fact that most people, that's all they can, that one thing, that one career, that big option after college and shit is one of the hardest things they have to do. And I found that like it benefits us. I'm glad for the last 31 years of my life because I learned how to like record audio. It might be shitty, but I can record stuff. I can write. I can do the videos. I can edit them. I can learn as I go. And you have to have all that. Like you can't make a video without audio and editing. And you get what I'm saying.
Unless you go back to the 20s.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be cool.
But that,
we should definitely make silent video.
Yeah, but even like in electric and shit, I have to do drywall. I have to, I have to learn how to read a home. I have to, even in the
Bend
commercial
pipe.
industry, bend pipe, all that. And bending pipe's an art. We all believe that. But you get what I'm saying? Like, shutting down to one thing for people is why we have the people who shut down to the world.
Right.
And they believe in these conspiracies. I think it all ties together. Like,
9/11 was an inside job.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't there.
I don't know. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, man,
dude.
I gotta pee.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've been drinking too much of this water and that. Well, I think that we're going to end on that note. I think that the entire message is to just open your mind into other possibilities,
Sorry.
have compassion, and open up to other people.
And consider the left-hand path.
Yeah, man, it might be better for you, at least for a little bit. And if you're struggling right now, make the hard decision right now. Don't let it play out for 19
I'm
years.
up and give your money to God.
Jesus.
Fucking
Or Jesus.
make the hard
Same
decisions
thing,
within
basically.
your relationships, within life, within your careers, whatever. Make them now, because if it's bound to happen in the future, whatever. And you're not
Whatever.
Don't be hard-headed and learn from other people's mistakes. Boom. There's all your messages. Comment down below if you have any fucking thing you want to say about it, or you disagree. We'd love to hear it. Like, comment, share. This was episode 129 of the Wildly Uninteresting Podcast with Adam, Ian, and Sarah.
I'm Sarah.
We're out.
Skibbity ba 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 ba. Wow.
Wildly
glad you knew what I was
Uninteresting
doing.
Podcast.